There is nothing wrong with your radio.
Do not attempt to adjust the volume.
We are controlling the broadcast.
For the next hour we will control all that you hear.
You are about to experience the knowledge and insights of the Media Mothership.
Okay, we're back. This is Craig Norris, your host on Media Mothership, joined by co-host Zeke. Hi, Zeke.
Yo, I'm back.
Excellent. And on Media Mothership, we look at how media shapes our understanding of the world around us. We go into some deep dives into media news, culture, movies, pop culture, TV, comic books, video games, bring guests in, interview them. Today's show is just going to be a recap show of odd news reports that I've come across over the last week. And Zeke's going to respond to them as the lay audience.
That's right.
Lay audience, because I didn't give him show notes for these links. So he'll be the listener that's probably out there that may be unaware of a lot of these stories.
Wow, you don't say.
Don't say. So as we're doing the show, we're also streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So you can find us by just looking for Media Mothership on YouTube or Twitch and see us in the flesh live streaming video. We're also, of course, broadcasting on the local FM system in beautiful Hobart, Nipaluna, Tasmania. We're broadcasting out of Edge Radio's one and only studio here at Mather Base using, an 80s, early 90s programming desk called the Hawk 12, I believe. So this is us. And, we're going to jump in and discuss some unusual and interesting bit of news. I'm figuring more stuff out each week on this show. It's so exciting.
It's a good sting.
Good sting. Thank you. Yep. Feel free, as we're going through today's news stories of media, to SMS directly into the studio. You can do that on 0488811707, or again, leave us a post on the chat on YouTube or Twitch. Yep. First story from Kotaku. Marvel Rivals is not where I expected to see a reference to the No Kings anti-Trump rallies. So let's listen to the Marvel Rivals Hunters on Season 7 trailer. For those that don't know, Marvel Rivals is a video game. My daughter is a huge fan of it and is so obsessed by it.
It's like a Overwatch, if you know what that one is, and if you don't know what that one is, it's like 5-on-5 PvP.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're basically third-person perspective, watching your character, fighting attacks, move attacks. We'll play a little clip from it, so you'll get an immersive audio example of what it sounds like.
Our city is under siege, and these vigilantes threaten us all. As your player, I will end this game of cat and mouse.
Is this like Spider-Man and Black Cat?
Yeah, that's Black Cat, one of Spider-Man's kind of villains, romantic interests. We heard the Kingpin at the start. So they're introducing, I don't know if there's new characters. I mean, Miu, if you're listening at home, SMS in 0488811707.
Tell us about the update.
What's the update like? The one thing that is interesting is we heard there at the start, Kingpin, who's the, one of the big bads in the Marvel universe, often a villain of Daredevil and Spider-Man. He's the one which they're pointing out in Kotaku has these no Trump, no King Easter eggs linked to, right? So the article in Kotaku is pointing out that if you look at some of the background images, you can.
Oh, it says no Kingpin.
Yep.
There's a huge
Just you don't need to hear more Marvel Rivals.
I mean, that's quite an obvious connection, isn't it? Well, I guess that theoretically could just be a poster that says no King. I mean, his name is Kingpin, I guess. So,
well, that's what many people are chatting about. So the Kotaku piece is saying that there appears to be references to the very real No Kings anti-Trump protest, and that that's in a map. So this is a new Lower Manhattan map in the video game Marvel Rivals. And it features a poster of the villain Kingpin with an X crossed over his face and a crown reading No Kingpin. Of course, the real No King protest occurred just recently, March 28th, which drew over 8 million people, making it the largest single-day protest in US history.
Is one of the... I assume there's posters going along with this real-life rally, right?
Yeah.
Is one of the posters like... Donald Trump with an X over it and a crown on. Well,
no, I don't know about that. I mean, the poster that you do see a lot of is the one I'm putting up on screen at the moment, which is a crown with a cross through it and no kings, and you can kind of see
it's pretty
similarities
spot on
there. So it's very similar. So the poster in the game's map trailer shows Kingpin with his face covered with an X and a crown, directly mirroring the No Kings protest. Of course, the real No Kings protest, March 28th, is amazing in terms of the size of it, right? It was the biggest single-day protest in American history. The controversy, though, is that on the subreddit for the Marvel Rivals video game, people began posting this question, right? Posting these images and saying, hey, is this a reference to the No King real protests that are against Trump? And on the subreddit, they locked the discussion, and the moderators purged all the comments that were politicizing it. So
that was their justification. They're like, don't politicize the game.
Yeah, I mean I assume so. I mean, the moderators didn't say why they suddenly blocked the discussion and purged all the discussion. But nevertheless, it is interesting when a video game becomes a political statement. Once people are starting to read it politically, yes, the subreddit can clamp down on it and purge it. But, you've got Kotaku articles, you've got the broader discussion, you've got our own involvement.
I mean, the existing, like if you play this game and you know anything about the No Kings protest, like I didn't know about any of the imagery, but you just showed me before. And that's, like this Kingpin one is that. Like there is no real question about that.
Yeah, it seems to be like they've snuck it in. I mean, it's tastefully depicted.
Yeah,
if you look at it,
they could theoretically, if somebody had a problem and there was some sort of complaint, they could say, "Well, no, it's just a poster in the game. It's just a thing that is within context, within universe. Like, we're not referencing this. It's just."
Yeah, plausible deniability.
Yeah. The word I was looking for.
So it's interesting when you look at the Reddit post that this is linked to, a wonderful meme where it's just sorting by controversial because, again, it is that question of when you have, I guess it's a debate. Should video games be platforms for political commentary, right? Or does it cross a line when a studio injects real-world protests movements into their game, right? So here, this is an entertainment video game. Some people might argue that they've crossed a line, that actually putting a real-world protest that's just happening right now into the video game that should just be entertainment crosses a line. Or is it great that you're using entertainment for political commentary?
It's always really interesting. I mean, I understand, like, if it's something that's purely meant to be entertainment, but these are also characters that exist within or outside of this video game. These are Marvel characters.
Yeah, comic books, Netflix series.
They have so much history in comic books, in movies, in everything else of having basically plots that are inspired by whether you like it or not. real world situations, right? Everything is steeped somewhere, even if it's not overt. There's like some sort of, it's a reference to something.
You can certainly have that reading, that a lot of it is still in conversation with real world issues to make it relatable, to make it relevant.
Like Kingpin, I mean, this isn't a story game, but generally most stories I think Kingpin's involved with would be, similar sort of tyrannical, rich Kingpin doing like whatever else, and that commentary is within those stories. So it's like the character itself is still steeped in that anyway. So it's how do you get away from that?
Yes, yeah. And he is a villain, and he is a crime lord, and I guess it is a very on the nose commentary. If you were to draw the analogy with Trump, but again, I do think it's inevitable, as I think you're saying as well, Zeke, blurring of the lines between entertainment and politics, escapism and activism. I mean, there'll always be ways to read against the grain, even if it is, I always love the idea that Jerry Lewis was immensely popular in France, but not for the comedy, for the kind of aesthetics, for the kind of mise-en-scène, for the kinds of structural deconstruction maybe of cinema he was doing. So there's always ways of reading against the grain, having alternative points of view. I mean, this one amused me to no end. Again, raising that question of video games.
It's also so it's also like it's very overt, but it's also very innocuous as well. Like you're playing this game, there's probably a few of those posters on the map, but they're not so outlandish.
Well, SMS in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, tell us if you've experienced this.
Is this a special attack? I think you're right, and it's like what you hear about product placement, right? Obviously, you can have product placement that's in the background of a scene that's very unobtrusive, but as soon as that product actually becomes used by the star in a scene, suddenly it becomes very explicit. And
it'd be a bit different if the map opens up and your character grabs a poster and they look at it and they go no Kingpin, and then
no Kingpin. This is so sad.
Yeah,
that Kingpin wants to be king. We must stop him. Yes,
there should be no Kingpin.
I'd be surprised. I'd imagine it's just in the background. Again, I'll have to ask my daughter when I get home. Do some oral history.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be a massive billboard in the map that also has it printed on. I don't know. Maybe it is very oversaturated on the map, but I feel like it probably isn't, and it's not really that big of a deal. So
yeah. Well, okay. Next story is on Nintendo keeping video games. Another one from a Kotaku. The headline is Nintendo pushed Mario into movies because console growth is tapped out. Shigeru Miyamoto felt the plumbers had reached their limits on Switch. So this story is making the claim that Nintendo shifted its focus from console-exclusive gaming, right, where it was on the Wii, the DS, the Switch, and so forth, to instead get some of these characters into broader media platforms, movies, streaming, animated content, because the argument being console markets have hit a growth ceiling. It's an interesting idea whether the consoles like the Switch or even the PlayStation 5 have reached their sales ceiling, right? The claim being that's it. This current generation of gaming is at saturation point. Now, no more hardware is probably going to be seen selling, and software of kind of
yeah, I guess it's interesting in terms of I would imagine they're looking at it more of increasing how many people know about Mario and are interested in Mario. And at this point, I guess, because they have such an international saturation for Mario on their consoles and stuff, they're probably thinking that they can't actually get, apart from new kids who are brought into it by their parents, they can't really get new people without pushing into new media forms Not that I mean movies aren't necessarily new media, but like into a different media platform like movies and other realms like that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think that the article points out that new generations of video game consoles aren't these days outselling the previous generation sales that were being seen. So because we're at the Switch 2 now. So yeah, so they'd be looking at the sales of the Switch, or certainly the Wii, and possibly even the PS4, PS3, and saying that the current new generation isn't outselling the sales that were reached by the previous ones. And Nintendo is now looking elsewhere for growth. And as you're pointing out, that what are the entry points then? Right? If games have maxed out, if you're wanting to push your Super Mario Brothers characters, if entry point for new audiences isn't games, then Nintendo seems to be making the move for movies, right? So the Super Mario Brothers movies, which are coming out. I think the next one's just around the corner.
Yeah, there was
the next
Super
animated.
Mario Bros. Was it called Super Mario Bros? The
I think
first
it was
one?
Super Mario
I
Bros.
think so. And then the second one, which is out, I think,
Yeah, the
is
actors
Super
are all...
Mario Bros. Galaxy.
So the idea being that that's going to reach more people than the games will. And that seems to be their international strategy, not a side project. So instead of seeing the games as a spin-off, instead of seeing the movie as the spin-off of the game, the claim that Kotaku is pointing out is that no, the game is the mothership. Sorry, the movie.
The movie is not.
The movie is the intentional project that they're setting up to bring audiences in. The movie is not a side project. It's their big flagship to bring audiences into Mario rather than the next Mario Brothers game.
Well, I think. One quick point. I think they also have iOS games, or what do you call them, like apps, like phone games, as well, which they're doing. Like I feel like I remember that being a thing. So I think they're doing that as well. But then the other point I was going to say is I haven't seen the newest movie. But I have seen spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything. But
You've seen spoilers?
Yeah, I've seen spoilers.
How? Oh, well, don't say that.
Well, online, but but it seems like
Yes.
they're trying to create a larger Nintendo universe.
Yeah.
So I think also this is probably going to work to try and get interest in old games as well.
Yeah, look, and I think,
Yeah.
the article goes on to say that Nintendo's rebranding itself, the company's thinking itself as a media and entertainment company first, not primarily a gaming hardware maker. So yeah, I think they're obviously going to try to get some of those properties from maybe their old properties as evergreen content that can have sales or have a long tail.
Well, there's already like technically, what do you call it, precedent for it, because you have games like, even though I don't think they're doing it anymore, the deal doesn't exist, but like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and you also have Smash Brothers as well, that has pretty much every Nintendo character in it. Some that also aren't Nintendo characters as well.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, and I mean, there's another surprising detail in the article where Miyamoto is saying he hopes that instead of people asking what game will Nintendo make next, so sort of what's the next game, it's going to be what world will Nintendo expand into next. So I think as you're saying, really world building, I guess, character expanding, or that kind of crossover space. But it is a fundamental identity shift in a way. Instead of it being Nintendo hardware platforms as part and parcel of what Nintendo's innovating and distributing, it seems to now shift into this media entertainment brand for what world are they making. Yeah, and I mean, it is interesting if you grew up, though, attached to playing Mario on Nintendo hardware.
Yeah.
How you might feel if the entry point these days seems to be the movies rather than the game and getting a disc or a...
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like these things should be I mean, I guess unless it's really bad, but I mean, the first movie that I watched, like, it's nothing Oscar worthy, but it's also not that bad. And I think, like, if anything, you should be like, oh, I'm glad that, like, maybe more people will enjoy Mario.
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of media theory, the theory that really this gets read through is Henry Jenkins' transmedia idea. Transmedia being the idea that you want your story, your fictional story, to spread across a lot of different media platforms. So yes, you've got the Matrix, or Pokemon's probably the best example of it, right? Yes, you've got the Pokemon card game, but then you have the video game,
Well,
the mobile app,
they've already done it, right?
the plushie.
They're like on it.
Yeah, oh, totally. Look, I mean, if you look at
since whenever that first came out.
There was this sale there was this data thing I was seeing about global franchise sales, and Pokemon is far and away the most profitable franchise space there, and I think the others were like Marvel, Mickey Mouse, all the Disney properties. Well, pretty much, actually, someone in the comments was pointing out a lot of the rest are Disney properties, but even with those other Disney properties combined, Star Wars, Star Trek, they didn't I think that, adding up all the numbers, they just outperformed Pokemon. So, I mean, Pokemon's enormously successful. It's very transmedia.
And it has, there's it'd be hard to name a media that it's not in, right?
Not doing transmedia. Yeah. You look
yeah.
at Marvel, right? Obviously, they're comic books. But as we just saw with the article there, Marvel Rivals is a video game.
Yes.
And that's the one that's driving stories. The Marvel Universe, of course, the movies.
Because that's interesting. Marvel's almost do it because they had movies. I mean, they obviously were originally a comic book, but they've had movies on lock for ages. I mean, I think they're slipping now a little bit because of the hangover from all of that stuff. But they've had
enormously successful.
Yeah, they had it on lock basically for such a long time, and now I think a couple of years ago, whenever that first Spider-Man game came out on PlayStation.
Oh, okay, yep.
I think ever since then they've really had a concerted effort in doing basically what Nintendo's doing, but the opposite way.
Yeah.
And so they had Spider-Man 2, the Miles Morales one. I think they're going to do a Wolverine game as well.
Okay, yeah, and those are considered to be really, really good games.
And then they have more traditional, online, high replayability game like Marvel Rivals as well.
And look, so I think these are really interesting reflection on today's media landscape. It's very fragmented. You've got audiences in different spaces, Some people are video games, comics. I mean, no one really wants to do... I think the real challenge with this transmedia space, though, is that, it's just too exhausting to do your homework, right? The more transmedia it can become. And I think this was the problem Marvel hit, that when they started to have their Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. drama...
Yeah.
Then their movies, then they had like mini episodes leaking out, not leaking, but put out into Netflix, The Secret Invasion, and then they had their movies and their phases. It just felt like too much homework. Like by the time you were watching the next big superhero get together, it's like, okay, I haven't seen the Netflix series this character's from. Yeah. Do I need to watch that before I see the movie? Because I don't want to spend, 12 hours trying to...
Watching Spider-Man, you're like, who's this blind lawyer who just showed up?
That's right. So it can become a disincentive to engage. So I think Pokemon, again, is a real example.
As you were saying this, I was just thinking about that. I was like, Pokemon have got it so right because they're in so many things. They have movies, TV shows... games, more and more, all these other things, phone games and all that, like everything you can do, but you literally do not need to do anything else to understand Pokemon.
Yeah, if you just want to watch the cartoons, you don't need to play the game.
Yeah.
If you just want to play the mobile phone game, you don't need to watch the anime.
Pokemon Go as well, yeah.
If you just like the plushies, you don't need to play the game or watch the TV show, right? So I think
books and stuff as well. Like you can just you can read them and you just like that's cool. That's it.
One of the interesting other theories I heard about Nintendo and that they push out in some of their PR is that it's also a game space or a world building space which has both maternal and paternal instincts within it. right? So you've got the idea that you're in the game and story of it. There's a maternal narrative, right? You're raising a animal up, right?
Yeah.
It begins at this stage of life, and then you're raising it into this other stage, which doesn't need to require combat necessarily. But then you do have that paternal combat masculine, so I guess feminine and masculine stereotypical characteristics within it. So male and female audiences, boys and girls, kind of. It's one of those properties in the 80s and 90s, which was being heralded as having engaging aspect to stereotypical identities for both male and female boy and girl audiences. So yeah, interesting storytelling around it. I know there was another article, just slight tangent, about a scientific bug guy, etymologist.
It's either
The bug one.
It's either
Entomologist?
or etymologist.
The one that's the bug. And he was talking about why he chose to name various new bugs he'd found after Pokemon characters. And it was that entryway. It was all about bugs through Pokemon. And of course, the creator of Pokemon is famous for talking about how he loved bug collecting.
Well, it's a big thing in Japan.
Yeah,
bug collecting in early life.
Let's see what the next story is. Okay, pretty cool. Next story, some April Fool's Day stuff. So we've collected a couple of April Fool's Day stories. Call of Duty's April Fool's joke brings the franchise's smallest map and a dead meme. So this was an update featuring the franchise's smallest ever map. A literal walk-in closet was the map that you loaded into for this multiplayer shooting game. The chaotic free-for-all mode is called GRWM and comes with double XP to sweeten the deal.
Jesus.
Yeah, so this was a map that was set in a walk-in closet that could fit up to 8 players in an absurdly tiny space with almost no cover. The mode was called GRWM, which stands for Get Ready With Me, and matches end when someone hits 67 kills. A nod to the 6-7 meme.
6-7, yeah.
But yeah, April Fools. Double XP is live alongside the joke mode, making a generally useful game time to spend rather than just a joke. It's a surprising win condition, 6-7 kills. I mean, we could have done that as April Fool's Day for Edge Radio. We're now changing our band to 6-7 FM.
6-7.
Edge Radio, 6-7 FM.
6-7 FM.
6.7 FM.
6.7 FM.
So it's interesting. I don't know if this is the future of gaming.
No, I don't think so. I'm surprised that they didn't make it 6 or 7 kills.
Yeah, and so it's 67. It seems absurdly
They can have it
high.
randomized as well. So sometimes you
6.
do win at 6, and sometimes you do win at 7.
I mean, I do like it in terms of if you're doing video games, at least the April Fool's Day joke is playable, right? I know War Thunder does a lot of funny April Fool's Day jokes where it's an alien invasion. Or there was one year where you were flying in the airplanes. Instead of them being airplanes, they were My Little Ponies that you were flying. So very cute. All right. That's my intro. You want to play that as the sting? There you go. Cycling through. Okay, next April Fool's Day, I think PC Gamer reports on the Bubsy feet pics. So I'm not familiar with this one, but this one is...
Who's Bubsy?
It's features pranks from major studios. So this is basically they were doing a survey of the key pranks over April Fool's Day from Blizzard, CD Projekt Red, and Treyarch. The vibe this year, PC Gaming was saying, it was quieter and more reserved compared to previous years. Highlights include the Witcher 3 horse controller. So let's play that. So this is the Project Roach. Project ROACH, right? And the Roach is a reference, right? Roach is
his horse.
It's the name of the horse. Yeah. So I don't know if this trailer goes for 1:45, so we'll play it. If it doesn't say anything, we'll just probably talk over the top of it.
again. Get ready. Because this year, the past is about to change. Introducing Roach, the controller that is also a hobby horse. Let's go for a ride. Nothing beats the feeling of roaming the fields of Velen on horseback. And now, you get to experience the game both as Geralt. Yeah, faster, faster. And his trusty companion, Roach. 10 years ago, I was directing a horse motion capture session. That very day, it hit me. No, kicked me. What if the horse was a controller? We took the prototype into a mock-up studio and made sure the horse slow down will follow your every step. After countless iterations, we've made enormous progress. Now, thanks to precise motion tracking, Roach will never astray from the path like she used to.
So that's like one of those horses on a stick, the horse head on a stick.
Yeah.
That's the controller. So that's the Roach controller horse.
That one's quite funny.
It's worth watching that one.
The thing that comes through in all of these, actually, in the video game ones particularly, is that, like, how much money are they spending on this?
Yeah, just for a joke.
Yeah.
Wonderful production. Very amusing. The Crusader Kings super sampling one is basically a, it's that AI joke that they're taking the AI, the kind of dodgy AI characters and turning them into beautiful human versions of them. So it's kind of AI slop-ifying the characters from this medieval game. So instead of them looking like normal CG, they're hyper-realistic, uncanny valley versions of them. What else have we got? Oh, yeah, the AI companion one. So this was from Razer, worth listening to.
Ava Mini is here. Want an AI companion for your AI companion? Razer Ava Mini is here.
What am I doing wrong, Zane? I feel like he doesn't even see me.
I hear you, girl. It's a good thing I got you a little something.
Introducing Ava Mini, the AI companion for your AI companion. Now, your Ava will really have their hands full, and your options are limitless. Powered by Razer AI.
Yeah, so it's, again, a lot of AI jokes. Oh, a furry.
Well, that one, because I was about to say, I thought the joke was that they were making an AI companion thing. But I was going to say, I thought I saw that, like, ages ago as, like, an actual thing. But so I think it is, and I think the joke there is the mini companion for the companion.
Yeah.
And yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the companion thing they actually are making.
Well, on that point, the Power World dating simulator, which started as a 2024 joke, is now actually being developed. So, again, as you're saying, some of these jokes end up becoming real. So this is I
got your email. For it. Listen, 2 years ago, when we made the dating simulator joke, everyone thought it was funny. And 1 year ago, when we put up the Steam page, all the players were laughing. But Takuro, actually make the game? I don't understand. For starters, the entire dev team is working on 1.0. So
they're setting up the whole joke around. But yeah, maybe it is. I don't know see the problem with April Fool's Day jokes is you never quite know if they're real or not. I mean, the example I want to give is I was chatting upstairs in the studio to Corey and saying that I came across this article on ABC News on the 31st of March, so just before April 1st. And it had the headline, "Thousands of Chinese social media users change profile photo to Kris Jenner." And I mentioned that to Corey, and Corey said, "No, that's an April Fool's Day joke." And I said, "Is it though?" I don't know. I feel like I've been. So maybe it is. So then I searched the internet, and there's a lot of other news corporations. The New Daily, Yahoo, Lifestyle Australia, First Post, ABC. Again, ABC are the ones posting this.
Was that the original one?
ABC posted originally, if we have a look at the dates that these are appearing. Well, see, the problem is the dates these are appearing are around April Fool's Day. So it's either 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 17 hours ago, 23 hours ago, if you do a news search. But all that is still within this April Fool's Day window, and it could just have been picked up by other agencies. I mean, and none of these news sources are particularly...
It would be funny if, like, the ABC made it up. And then other outlets were like, "Oh, we need that story."
But it's confusing. It is a typical example because I've been caught in the past as a lecturer. I'd sometimes just grab examples to use in classes. There was a video game class I was doing. I needed an example of businesses and companies gamifying their product, and there was an article about the ABC, or not ABC, I think it was on Kotaku, ran an article about the Australian government for its National Health Day is encouraging people to use the Wii and will be subsidising in some way the Wii system, like everyone gets a free Wii board thing, and I used that in a lecture. Just straight flat, like, oh, here's an example of the Australian government thinking that, they can gamify health. And then it dawned on me that that article was suspicious. And I looked at the date, April 1st, and I thought, oof. And this is the problem with April Fool's Day, that it completely undermines the trustworthiness of a site. I wouldn't think the ABC News runs April Fool's Day stuff.
Or you would think that it would be labelled very
clear, which this isn't. This article isn't.
Yeah.
But it is,
or even at the end, because earlier you were showing me this as well, and I said, "Can you scroll down to the bottom?" Because I thought maybe at the end it would just have a big like April Fools at the end, which is also probably common in some things. But yeah, it's a bit I mean,
have you? Well, SMS
like it's real.
Have you changed your social media profile photo to Kris Jenner?
Are you on Chinese social media?
Yes.
And 2, have you changed your profile picture?
So the idea, so this article, the idea is that thousands of Chinese social media users have changed their profile photos to Kris Jenner, hoping it brings them good fortune and success. The trend has gone viral on platforms like Red Note, with users creating customized AI-generated versions of the celebrity who's known as the Queen Mother in China. Of course, Kris Jenner is mainly famous for her work on the Kardashian family empire. Right, so she's considered the momager, manager of this enormous, talking of a transmedia media empire, the Kardashian family. Yes. So the idea being that Kris Jenner has done so well monetizing the Kardashian family that she's an aspirational figure. Right. So it kind of sounds true, right? But because the story's breaking during April Fool's Day window, it also sounds like a joke.
Well, it does say, like, what is it, thousands, did it say?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, but also within the context of China, right? Like, that also isn't necessarily a lot of people.
Statistically, I'm not,
Could be
like
a small set of people who are, like, really fascinated by maybe American media, and particularly Kris Jenner, and then now they're starting this trend. Could be.
We really, we just need to actually go to the source. We'll on Sundays on Edge Radio there are 2 in Chinese programs, Mandarin. Sorry.
Well, one's in Cantonese.
Okay, right.
Cantonese banter is in Cantonese.
Cantonese banter would be in Cantonese. Yeah. So we'll message in. During there. And check that out. Right, we're quarter 2. There's some other stories, but maybe we'll jump straight into
the main event.
The main event, yeah. So there's been a couple of stories being run about the Sounds of Australia archive event. So what's happening is that the Australian National Film and Sound Archive have made some announcements about new audio material they're incorporating into their 2026 Sounds of Australia collection, including the one which is getting most of the coverage, which is the Succulent Chinese Meal Guide.
Succulent Chinese meal.
So, of course, this is Jack Carlson, an elderly Australian man with a criminal past, and he became an internet legend after his arrest at a Chinese restaurant, I think back in 1991, was caught on camera. And his passionate monologue about democracy during the arrest went viral years later after it was recorded, and has now been officially added to the Australian National Film and Sound Archive.
As it should.
As it should. I'm sure some of our own shows hopefully will end up there. A recognition of how ordinary moments can become cultural touchstones. So let me, I'll dig up, so this is the actual government website that I'm browsing through at the moment, the Succulent Chinese Meal.
It is quite funny to see it all on the, there was a GIF just there as he was scrolling down of him being put into the car. And it's quite funny to see that on an Australian government website.
Yes, yeah. So I guess the thing to recognise here is that so this is this happened 30 years ago, and it's an arrest video from a Brisbane restaurant, and we'll hear a little bit of this audio now. There's a minute 15 of it. This is the Democracy Manifest Succulent Chinese Meal. Jack Carlson is arrested in Brisbane, as broadcast on 7 Nightly News, the 11th of October 1991, courtesy of the 7 Network. So we'll play. I know there's a penis which gets mentioned, so we'll try to cut it before then. But again, in terms of
I mean, at this point, why? You've already done it.
No, I've said it in an informational context. What's it called? It's in passing. It's I'm not advertising it.
Sure.
Anyway, let's listen to it now. All right. Hold on.
Police in the Valley swooped on a man they thought was one of Queensland's most wanted as he dined at a Chinatown restaurant this afternoon. He wasn't on the list, but has been charged with credit card fraud.
An American Express investigator followed a man he thought was one of Queensland's most wanted to a Valley restaurant. Minutes later, police had the business surrounded, then sent in a delegation.
Information we received was that there was an armed and dangerous suspect in the restaurant.
He denied the charges, stridently protesting his innocence in a fury of arm waving. Then police decided to move him, a task easier said than done.
Under arrest. Look, I'm under what? Come on. Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
And he didn't appreciate the way he was handled.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
It took 6 officers to restrain him, whose major concern was the meal he'd left behind.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
Eventually, they had him in custody.
I believe that it's all to do with stolen credit cards.
He was charged with several fraud offences. He'll appear before the Brisbane Magistrates Court tomorrow. Chris Reason, 7 Nightly News.
So that's the 7 Nightly News broadcast as it went to air. So I think if they could say penis,
it's quite like because obviously there's a longer original footage that they got at the time and must have been released later based on this.
Well, I think what had happened was when it first got posted to YouTube, it was the outtakes. So a Channel 7 archivist, one of the articles was talking about it, a Channel 7 archivist came across it. Like this was in the early 2000s, and uploaded it as a funny reference to colleagues in the industry that knew of the notoriety of this broadcast, and that included most of the arrest. Whereas, yes, on the government website, they've got a couple of posts of his work on the government website, but the one that they've got there that you can access is the broadcast as it went to air in 1991. handing over to the footage. But yes, the whole piece is also worth tracking down on YouTube.
There's some other great lines that weren't in that broadcast.
Such
as, I see you know your judo well.
What's the one on ABC? So ABC, if we look at the ABC...
Police in the Valley.
That is
it's just the same one. I know, it makes sense because it's in the National Sound Archive.
That's right.
So it makes sense that it's the original broadcast that went to air. They probably also have the original audio as well in there, but it would make sense that they also have the broadcast because that's obviously where it's from.
Well, even though it's Channel 7, so the article, I was just reading through it a bit further. So the arrest footage lay hidden on camera tapes until 2009 when a Channel 9 employee uploaded it to YouTube casually to share with colleagues. It then exploded into a global phenomena. And of course, Carlson, who we hear there, it turned out had a troubled past, petty crime, prison time, but also acting classes, which is that Shakespearean voice he has. But he only became famous later in his old age as this started to go viral. And getting this kind of official recognition now after he's passed away. He wasn't guilty of this crime either. So he wasn't, I believe, involved in that.
I believe you'd have to fact check me, but I'm pretty sure he started like a wine business and maybe even some other businesses off the back of like when this went viral, then off of the back of that. So I think he made his money back.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. And of course, this meme went on to inspire a ton of stuff. I was looking at the government website, and they have some other clips of other performances he's given as an actor. So here he is in 1976. So, of course, this was 1991, the succulent Chinese meal arrest. But then in 1976, he was in the Australian TV cop drama Homicide. So this is a short, I think it goes for a few seconds, from episode 493, Double Take. This is Jack Carlson. Here, if you can hear his voice in his performance on Homicide, 1976. Any second. It was working before.
Come on, Jack.
In for 2 pots, that's all. I come out here to go back on me rounds, and me bloody car's gone.
Are you sure it was in this street?
Of course I'm sure. Look, have you ever had your car pinched? Huh? I tell you, it's a shock. Man feels a real dill. Man, I come out, ready to leap in and away, and nothing.
Are you sure this is exactly the spot?
Look, mate, I know what you think. A touch of the DT, huh? But it's a funny feeling. What I mean is, a man spends a fortune...
So that's 1976. Then he was also, in the same year, in Matlock Police. So any Matlock Police fans out there, you might remember episode 219, Time Bomb, where he appears as a mechanic.
Let's have a think now. Blue, you reckon?
Blue or white.
Blue or white? Huh?
Yeah, well, we think they could be carrying fresh hides. They'll be going off by now, so you would have noticed the smell.
Excuse me?
Yeah, come to think of it.
Excuse me, I only asked you for $2 worth.
Oh, hold your beeswax, missus. Can't you see I'm busy here?
Classic. So, I mean, no democracy manifest, but it is wonderful, again, that idea that, yes, he was a petty criminal, but he had some acting chops. He appeared in Homicide and Matlock Police. Ironically, both police procedural dramas, neither of them seem to depict him as a petty meme. A petty meme.
Well, unless, I mean, depending on where that clip goes that we just watched, maybe he did have a car or something. Or
well, what do you think? I mean, in terms of now hearing his performance on TV, do you think he was genuinely outraged at the Chinese restaurant, or was he performing for the cameras?
I think he was just making a fuss about it, right?
Was he performing for the cameras, do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic delivery.
This is democracy, madam.
And, you know, again, in terms of like random moments from anyone's life, it's hilarious when you think about which moments in your life deserve to get remembered by history. And what it would take for them to be remembered by history. This one, right place, right time. A film crew there at a sting to arrest a credit card fraud which was occurring, and then having this enormously theatrical.
And then, I mean, I'm sure people, when they first saw it on TV, they would have been like, oh, he's a bit of a character. But, I mean, if it wasn't then refound years later and put out online, then it also wouldn't have. So there's quite a few lucky instances that led to it being so significant.
Yeah. Look, I think it's very random, very serendipitous, very kind of one of these ways in which, the internet can, or someone's life can get redefined through the haphazard nature of media. You just see what because Gizmodo, it's appeared in so many other.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sir, sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off me. Ta-ta and farewell.
Ta-ta and farewell. Yes, ta-da and farewell. So again, the significance here, of course, is that it's being incorporated into the Australian, National Archive as part of their 2026 Sounds of Australia. Interestingly, if you look in a bit deeper, there's some other material which is also being incorporated in there. There is the song I played earlier today on Edge Radio, which was the 1980 song "Shut Up Your Face," which turns out to have been an enormously important song in Australia. That looking into it, what was it? It was number one for like 12 weeks in Australia. It reached number one in over 12 countries. It was number one in the UK for a number of weeks. It was a huge hit. So that's also now being incorporated into the Australia's National Film and Sound Archive as part of its 2026 Sounds of Australia audio capsule. And you can find that by going to the Sounds of Australia website on the nfsa.gov.au site. It has some fantastic information about all these pieces. It's also got 1977 Marcia Hines song "You." It has a number of. It also has the PB5 pedestrian crossing button. You guys, let's hear this if this triggers anything from people. Oh, jeez. So that was introduced 1984. It's the PB5 pedestrian crossing button, and it reshaped how Australians move through cities and suburbs. It's designed by David Wood, Lewis Chalice, and Frank Holscher. It was created to support pedestrians who are blind or have low vision through sound and touch. Right? The locator tick vibrating arrow and steady crossing tone are functional but also instantly recognizable. And you've got the...
did you know that also has another media relation to it, which is that when Billie Eilish, you know Billie Eilish?
Yes, the singer.
When she was in Australia, obviously she would have heard this, and that's what she has a song where it's like, goes like, can't remember which one it was, but it goes like...
Really?
And that is sampled from this.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the Euro beats. It's the Aussie beats.
Yeah.
So you got the Democracy Manifest 91 that we've just been hearing, Federal Court Native Title Determination at Nunkanba Station, ABC Kimberley, broadcast in 2007, is incorporated into it. The Reading Writing Hotline jingle for 2001. Do you remember this?
If you have trouble
yes, yep.
That's something you can fix.
1-3-6-5-5-6.
That's the Reading
Reading
Writing Hotline.
Or read a website.
Yeah.
Or a tax form. But it's never
Okay, so that's now in the National Archive. So this is the song that I was playing a little bit of. This one. It's a great song. So that's the 1980.
Yeah.
And then we've got Missy Higgins' 2004 song Scar. What else is up there? The Australian of the Year Acceptance Speech by Rosie Batty in 2015. Tabaran, Not Drowning, Waving, and the Musicians of Rabal featuring Talik in 1990. Yeah. And then some fantastic information about each of them. So worth checking out. Their 2026 Sounds of Australia audio archive on the government website. Well, that's us. We've gone a little over time, but it did give us the whole excerpt of the Democracy Manifest that we got to hear, as well as a bit of Shut Up Here Face.
This is Media Mothership.
All right, so thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for all the messages and SMSs. And we'll be back next week with some more deep dives into media and audio around the world. Coming up next, some really cool tunes. So enjoy. Thank you, Zeke, also co-hosting.
Thank you, and goodbye.